Yeah, it'll be just a little bit.
Yeah, you snitch.
See what's going on with him.
I seen her call too. I knew it. It was her though. It was her.
Well, hey, focus on me.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know what's going on.
I was just looking for a Chinese named Ming, and I know she was around here. I thought she was in the meat packing plant because they said it was around this area. So I went there, checked there. There was a Chinese girl that worked Allied Universal. So that's a security company. They're pretty much like police, like you, but they're kind of like lower tier or dumber, so they can't become that. And she was a Chinese that was working the front Jack Shack. It's just in the front. So I was trying to get her to come over to verify if that was her. She didn't want to verify, and I can't just go on their property because they say that I'm not allowed to. There's a car parking.
He's with me. He's at the sheriff's office.
So is that Sheriff Douglas?
No. That's the investigator.
Oh, well, that's what I am, sir. So we're all investigators here. I'm just trying to find the Chinese women's. She said she's Ming. So I'm just trying to communicate with her. And then I think the one that kind of looks like a boy, the girl, she's the one that snitched and called the police. So I'm just trying to get down to business. I'm trying to gather the proper details, and then I'm just going from there because Frank told me to come out here. And Frank's... Yeah, the car lot that's across from the meat packing facility.
Before we even get into the confrontation you're about to see, understand this. This entire encounter starts the same way thousands of police interactions do across the country. A phone call. Not a crime. Not evidence. Not probable cause. Just someone uncomfortable with a man filming in public. And that discomfort alone snowballs into officers showing up, demanding identification, and attempting to stretch vague accusations like disturbing the peace into something they can legally stand on. This video becomes a live demonstration of the Fourth Amendment in action, or more accurately, the tension between what the law actually requires and what officers sometimes assume they're allowed to do.
So this is where you intended to go, was Bridge Street?
No, this is the second, because I know it's around this area. I had zero luck back at the meat shop, but I do know they're going out of business. So that's why that's why the Chinese, that's why I think that they would have some illegal Chinese working there. And I do know that Miss Ming is undocumented. I don't know if she's illegal. I don't know if she follows the law, but I do know that she's undocumented Chinese. And then my eyesight's not that good. I need goggles. And she said her name was Miss Ming, so I wanted to walk a little closer to verify the product. And I just asked, hey, can I come over there, or can I go in the property? They said no, and I was like, okay, I'm going to zoom in on you then. And that's when the snitch called the cops, and I think she was saying the F word, or the I word, the idiot word. And I said, why are you doing this to me? My name Billy. And they said, I don't care. And then she was planting something. It was very suspicious. She said she's planting wires in the ground. They're not plants. You can't plant wires in the ground. They don't grow. It makes no sense. And now they're being very suspicious. And I do know there was 3 men, and they looked like they were doing something together, something inappropriate. And I don't know what it was, but it was by that red vehicle.
Sir, do you happen to have your driver's license or identification?
Frank told me not to give my identification, sir.
I'm investigating a potential crime.
Right here, things start to unravel quickly. Not because of any actual crime, but because of misunderstanding layered on top of assumption. The subject is rambling, making accusations, and clearly not communicating in a way that helps his case socially. But socially awkward or offensive speech is not a crime. Officers are listening to a bizarre narrative involving filming, undocumented workers, and suspicious behavior, yet none of it translates into an objectively articulable offense. This is where officers often feel pressure to do something simply because they've been called. But legally, a call for service doesn't lower the constitutional bar. It raises it. They still need facts, not feelings.
What's the crime, sir? So investigating is disturbing the peace?
That would be the crime. Nebraska has a state statute regarding disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
So I'm potentially, I'm not saying you're in trouble.
Yeah. No, I can't give you ID because I didn't disturb peace, sir.
Well, no.
Their words.
I have to identify everybody in this.
That's not true, sir.
Yes.
Frank says we have Fourth Amendment for a reason.
Okay. I want to work with you.
You want to work with me? We're not hiring, sir. I don't want to get in trouble neither. I'm the investigator on
You
scene.
have to identify yourself.
No, I'm just out here that was reporting the news and investigating. I don't know what they're up to. They're doing something naughty, though. I assume they are. I can't be identified, sir.
So you're being trespassed from the establishment, so we have to...
You can't trespass me if I'm never on property.
Yes, they can.
I was never on their property. I was never over there. That's a lie.
Actually, you don't have to be on the property to trespass. They can trespass anybody they
It doesn't matter. Never was over there. You can't go around to people and say you're
Sir,
trespassed.
I need to identify you.
You might need to learn the law before so. Because
fine.
guess what? I'm the lead investigator on scene. Reporting the news and investigating is not a crime. You cannot make that into a crime.
I need to identify you so I can put your name in our system.
No, you're not getting my name until I commit a crime. If I commit a crime, yeah, you can. We're not going to go around trying to violate people's rights that are out here being peaceful and recording.
I've already said disturbing the peace is a
Where's your proof of that?
Well, you've already
That's not
had
proof.
you've already
Having
had the
somebody
conversation.
call, anyone could call anything. I could call and say that, you know, you're kissing your boyfriend in public and flipping him off and pushing him. It doesn't mean...
This is the turning point of the encounter. The officer directly asks for identification, and the subject flatly refuses, invoking the Fourth Amendment. Now, tone aside, this is where constitutional law comes into sharp focus. In most jurisdictions, police cannot compel identification unless there is reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has occurred, is occurring, or is about to occur. Saying someone called is not enough. Saying they feel disturbed is not enough. What's critical here is that the officer struggles to clearly define the crime beyond a vague reference to disturbing the peace.
And it's real. It doesn't mean anything. That does not give you reasonable, articulable suspicion that you deem me of a crime.
Okay. John Doe, I guess. Have you been recording the whole time?
You best believe it.
Do you want us to press search warrants on your phone to prove
Do you want a lawsuit? I'll have your job in a heartbeat, pal.
All right. Well, either way, we need to identify you.
Until you reasonably articulate a crime that you suspect me of, you're not going to violate my Fourth Amendment rights. You don't even know what the Fourth Amendment is. That's your problem. You guys all swore an oath to the Constitution. Not one of you knows jack about it. Well, that's true. So what's the Fourth Amendment? So have I. Okay. And you're out here violating that very oath that you swore that actual heroes fought and died for. Yeah, no shit. I know the law better than you nerds.
And they want you trespassing.
I've never been on property. You can't point around and say, hey, trespass that guy. Hey, trespass that guy. He's never been on my property, but I don't like him. So trespass him. You can't do that, you nerd. It doesn't matter. You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. Yes, you do. That's a crime. That's a crime. Have I ever been on property? No. You can't go around trespassing people and violating their Fourth Amendment and getting their names.
We don't have a Fourth Amendment on public property that's not, or on private property that's
I've
not
never been
yours.
on private property, you
They
dunce.
don't want you on their
Where
private
I've never
property.
been on it, you dunce.
They don't want you on their
I've never
private
been on it.
property.
Go call your attorney or your chief or your sheriff, because you guys are dumb. You guys are dumb nerds that don't even know the law or our rights. How dare you? Spitting on the graves of actual heroes who fought and died for them. How dare you?
Now we enter one of the most misunderstood areas of everyday law, trespassing. The officer tells the subject he's being trespassed, while simultaneously acknowledging he may not have been on the property. That contradiction matters. Trespass typically requires a person to enter or remain on property after notice. You can't retroactively trespass someone who was never there, though you can issue a verbal notice prohibiting future entry. The confusion here is dangerous because it blurs enforcement lines. Officers sometimes treat trespass like a blanket authority tool, something they can invoke to justify ID demands or removal.
Spit on their graves some more, you dunce.
So you said you sworn?
Well, now it's none of your business. You'll find out in court. I dare you to violate my rights. I'll have you so fast. You're going to have to find a new job just like those 3,200 in the meatpacking facility. You're not going to violate my rights. You can go ahead and try, but I will win. And I will have your job, I promise you. But go for it, Buster. Swearing an oath to something you don't know anything about. You don't even know the law. Thinking you can go around trespassing anybody that's not even been on the property. Do you have to be on the property? You can't go around and point at someone and say, hey, I want that guy trespass from my property. He's never been on there, but go trespass and violate his Fourth Amendment rights. Go do that because I don't like him.
Right to someone else's property.
You're dumb. I've never been on their property.
Someone can still
Learn the law. Open your phone and read the law. And I'm getting that body cam too.
Absolutely, that's why it's recording.
Yeah, and you're gonna look so foolish that you don't know the basics of law.
Right to go on private.
I've never been on the property. Where's your evidence of that?
To not come on the property. Just like
Yeah, you can tell me to not come on the property. Doesn't mean you get just a free willy violate my Fourth Amendment to obtain my identification when I did not commit a crime. You're not going to, because I'm going to have that ass in court. You're not getting my ID. Go for it. You can give me a verbal trespass. You're not getting my ID. Well, then do it. Do it. You're not getting my name. You're not getting my name. Well, too bad. I'm not letting you violate my Fourth Amendment rights unless you want to pay up in court.
We're not violating your Fourth.
At this stage, the encounter stops being about law enforcement and starts becoming about ego on both sides. The subject's insults escalate, and the officers respond with frustration instead of clarity. This is a textbook example of how professionalism can deteriorate when emotions override training. Legally speaking, insults, even extreme ones, are still protected speech unless they cross into threats or incitement. The subject's behavior is obnoxious, but obnoxious isn't illegal. The officers, however, continue circling back to ID without resolving the foundational issue. What crime justifies the demand?
You don't know what the Fourth Amendment is. What is it? What is it? You guys are so dumb. Am I not allowed to be protected in my persons and my papers? You guys think not. You think anyone could just point at someone and say, trespassing from my property. They've never been on, but go violate their Fourth Amendment rights. I've never been on it, you dork. Do you not understand? How do you not know the basics of law?
You need to stop talking for a second.
You need to stop talking. I'm in charge here. I'm the investigator on scene. I'm a ma'am. I'm a ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
That I was kidding. Now you called me a girl. So that's a double whammy. You had one whammy, now it's a double.
Okay, so we're not trying to get you for a crime right now.
You're not going to. I don't commit crimes. You're not getting my information.
The system is being trespassed. Straight on.
I don't care. You go arrest me, and then I'll have your guys' butt cracks in court.
And you know you have been trespassed. If you go on their property,
I've never been on their property.
Again, I'm not saying you did.
I don't care. You're not getting anything from me.
Go on their
Unless you want to
property.
kiss, and it's consensual. That's it.
All right. If you go on their property, that's when you would have charges against you for trespassing.
Am I going on their property? Have I been
I'm
on their
not saying you're
property?
going to.
I don't care what you have to write in your CAD. You can go write anything you want. You could say, hey, that big handsome guy with a big wiener in his pants that I was looking at through the pants. You can say that if you want. You could write that in there. It doesn't matter. Write whatever you want. You're not getting my name.
Okay.
You guys aren't going to violate my rights. It's not going to happen.
We're not trying to violate.
That you just were. You tried violating my Fourth Amendment on a crime that no one's committed.
Threats of lawsuits fly fast here. And while the subject is clearly posturing, the underlying issue remains unresolved. Officers mention body cameras, reports, and documentation, but documentation doesn't replace legal justification. Writing something in CAD doesn't magically create probable cause. This is an important teaching moment for viewers. Police reports must reflect reality, not manufacture it. Courts look at objective facts, not emotional frustration. If no crime can be articulated, demanding ID remains constitutionally shaky no matter how irritated an officer becomes.
That you admitted no one has committed a crime.
Correct.
Exactly. So get out of here, you nerd. Learn the basics of law before you come up and try to bully your way to violate someone's rights, which you don't even know jack about. And you claimed you swore the oath more than one time. Then why the hell do you not know jack about it? Why are you just out here trying to violate people's rights? You were a pogue. I guarantee you were a pogue. Weren't you?
You're a Marine then.
No, I was not a Marine. And you were, no, a pogue is a person other than a grunt.
Correct.
And that's what you were.
I was a poke, yeah.
Yeah, I know, I could tell. That's why you're so willy-nilly to violate my rights. Think what you want. I've done my service. I've been through shit. You haven't. And I know what the ultimate sacrifice is, and you're spitting on their graves right now. How dare you?
I also know what the absolute sacrifice is.
You clearly don't give a shit about it because you're out here trying to violate my freedoms that they fought and died for, and you think it's funny. It's not funny.
I think it's funny that you say I'm violating your rights.
Learn the Fourth Amendment and maybe you would know. Maybe you've got to learn that you have to have somebody commit a crime, be suspected of, or you can't go out and get their Fourth Amendment just stripped away like that. Because my ID, that's my papers, that's my persons. You can't just go out there and strip that and be like, oh, they want you trespass, you never were on property.
Again.
You can't go point at people, I want him trespass, and then go violate their Fourth Amendment, because that's exactly what you're doing.
Notice what doesn't happen here. No arrest, no citation, no clearly stated offense. The encounter stretches on, but it never crosses into enforcement because the legal foundation isn't there. This is a silent admission that the officers lack what they need to proceed. When law enforcement truly has probable cause, interactions don't stall like this. They move decisively. Prolonged arguing often signals uncertainty. And that's exactly what viewers should pay attention to. Not the insults, not the volume, but the absence of lawful escalation. This moment reinforces a critical lesson. Knowing your rights doesn't always look clean or cinematic, but it can prevent unlawful detention.
You should really go home and actually read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights minimally, learn the first 10.
Happy dinner.
And then continue to go about your day and then say, fuck everyone's rights. I'm just here to do my job. It doesn't matter if I have to violate rights doing my job. I'm just here to do my job.
So you go back on their property.
I never was on their property.
Or for the first time, I don't care. You were trespassed from being on their property.
I'm getting my twin out here, and this is not the last you've heard from me.
If you violate that, you're going to go to jail.
Well, you got to catch me first, too, just saying.
Shape or form, you were going to go to jail.
Yeah, but you know how fast I am? I'm wearing speed boots today, sir.
Congratulations.
Well, that means I'm fast.
Okay.
That means I'm nimble.
Sure.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
What is going to happen if you either disturb their peace or trespass?
I'm going to warn you what's going to happen if you try to violate my rights again. I'm going to have your ass in front of the judge, and I will be taking both your nerds' jobs, and I will be suing this whole town. It's not a good thing. Why are you proud of that? It's not good to come out and violate people's rights and throw them in jail. You just fucking tried violating my Fourth Amendment, you dunce.
To identify you.
You guys are dumb. Learn your oath, you jack-offs.
Have a great evening.
This encounter ends the same way many constitutionally questionable stops do. Without enforcement, without charges, and without resolution beyond frustration. And that alone tells you everything you need to know. No crime was articulated. No lawful basis for compelled identification was established. And despite repeated attempts, the Fourth Amendment held firm. Whether you agree with the subject's behavior or not, the legal takeaway is clear. Filming in public is not a crime. Being reported is not reasonable suspicion, and rights don't disappear under pressure.